Hello, my family. Okay. Yes, wet hair. Oh, it's hot. We have a few things we're going to do today. I just picked beans, y'all, but we've had some major storms again. We've also had massive humidity, and those beans are ready to pick once again. We are going outside to pick from the garden. I have dilly beans that I'm getting ready to do. At the same time, I'm going to share with you. I don't know how many know what gyros, aka gyros, are, but that meat is hard to find. However, I know how to make a homemade version that is almost the same way, and you can do this with beef and lamb or just plain beef. I'm going to be teaching how to make that meat, and it is freezable, so that if I want to make gyros at any point, I can do so. At the same time, I'm going to be making my own pita bread. Also, I'm going to be sewing and teaching how to make covers for these mixers and for my mills. The covers I'm looking at is for my pasta maker and both of my mills, and I have a round mixer I'm going to be working on, but we're going to work on that one last. So I have a couple videos we're fixing to do. We're going to prepare meals ahead of time and be able to know that in hot summer, sometimes we just don't want to cook. We want something very simple, and this is what I'm going to do in a healthier version. So yeah, look forward to that. First we're doing is I'm drinking my coffee, and then we're going to go outside, tackle the mosquitoes by the swarms, and start picking some more beans because it is ready. And I am so close to making some more dilly beans. It's crazy. These beans are non-stop. They don't know how to stop, but praise the Lord, we got food. So let's go do that. All right. At this point, it shows that this is almost picking season for potatoes. However, I'm not sure how well this is going to go. It took a good digging just to find these two. At this point, I'm going to be very grateful with anything that I can get. And I'm going to go ahead and cover these back up. But yeah, we're going to see how much we actually get this year, because so much rain, I'm afraid that this was not a good thing. So we'll see what happens. We have a 6x10, I believe it was, bed. They're almost ready to pick and start looking for them. So there's still a few more green on here. As soon as all of this dies off, we'll start digging for potatoes. In the meantime, let's start looking for tomatoes. Y'all, you got to see this. Now these are the peppers, and they're loving this heat. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. They're loving this heat. Now I'm getting, look, that's a beautiful pepper right there. Hang on a second. See it right there? That's a gorgeous pepper. So they're starting to come on. At least these are the bell peppers. These tomatoes, oh geez. It's tomatoes gone literally wild. I have clusters all over these. Now this is my cherry tomato bed. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. We gotta check on those tomatoes right there. And there's some right here. Those are good sized slicing tomatoes that are growing up pretty good in clusters. Go through here and show you these. Look at this. Look at them clusters. Looks like clusters of grapes. They're everywheres on these. I have never seen this. Look at this. Beautiful. I cannot wait to pick this. So we're going to pick these next. This is the other spicy pepper bed, and they're going crazy right now and growing. Some of them have already started with peppers. I'm waiting for them to ripen. Basically, a lot of these need to turn red. So we're getting there, and then waiting on these. Holy smokes. Y'all, I have never seen my San Marzanos look like this. Y'all, I'm going to actually be able to can my Italian tomatoes this year. I am super stoked. So let's go ahead and set up and see what we can find, because these are nowhere's ready. I do see one trying to ripen, only one, maybe two. So we're going to go through this whole bed and look around, and then we're definitely going to pick some of them cherries over there. I've already picked some already, so let's get busy. Alright, y'all, let's see what we can do. Like, here's a vine right here. Look at all them beans on it. And I just picked these about 2 days ago, and there was really nothing. They were super small, so they grow so fast. I have beans everywhere, and I try to catch them before they get super big because I like my dilly beans tender. So, y'all, let's do this. let me switch you around. On this one just yet. All right, y'all. All in all, wow, it felt like a shower out there. All in all, we did not get a bagged batch. One thing I'm not liking is the bugs are also liking my bigger tomatoes, and that bothered me. I picked one that was full of little worms I mean never seen before, so that bothers me, but that's a good harvest. So I'm going to clean all this up, and then we're going to go into sewing next. Okay, y'all, so in the description box below, I am going to give you a link. It's off of Pinterest, y'all, and in that link, it's going to give you the pattern for the outside edge of this. The other one is just a simple 16.5 inches by 42 inches, I think it was. I'll look at my instructions in a minute. That's an easy straight off long cut, but the roundness, that is this right here, and it's a free pattern within that link that you can look for, and you can download it, or not download it, but you can print it off. And I used my printer for this. If you do not have a printer, you can, it'll charge you, I don't remember how many cents it was, but you can actually have this done at the library. It is 2 sheets, so, and you're going to match them together like so. I'm going to have cut it off and then make one single pattern. Now it doesn't look like that would work, but this is a fold line, y'all. So I'm going to fix this pattern up and I'm going to show you how we're going to use it. But yes, the link is to Happiest Camper. You'll have to go through her blog, but she has it written in blue where you can print off this pattern at least. And then I'm going to give you the dimension, and that'll be in the description also on the next piece that goes on the outside edge of that. And I'll show you how to do all that. So first, let me get this put together, and I'm going to show you how we're going to cut this, and we're going to sew it together. Yes, this is a sewing machine one. However, if you do not have a sewing machine, you could do this by hand if you wanted to. So let me get started. Okay, y'all, so I did cut my pattern and fix it up. So I cut down one line on my second sheet, joined the 2 match lines together, took my fold edge line and cut it down just a little so I can put this against my fold. Now this pattern, as you will see, it's got 2 lines. I did the outside edge of this. Basically, this is also for the smaller versions, which you can cut it down even more to here if you have like an Artiste KitchenAid or whatever. I tend to like the bigger one no matter what, even if it is a small machine. That extra just gives it more protection. So we're just going to keep this like it is because I don't want to have to do this twice. And I mean, if I really wanted to, I can cut it down just a little bit and sew it instead of having to cut my pattern. So now we're going to go ahead and get ready with our material, and I'm going to show you where right now. If you don't have a material store, I don't know about the rest of you, but our Walmart usually doesn't have a fabric shop. They started upgrading our Walmart. So what they have done is added pieces that are a yard, 1, 2, and 3 yard material. And this is about $5.97 or 96 cents for a 1 yard pattern like this. You can get them cheaper with regular colors. You can get 3 yards for like $9. Honestly, we have a sewing store here, and I am spending much less, y'all, buying this from Walmart than I would at the sewing store. Although sometimes I would go to my sewing store just to support her a little, but they are getting quite expensive. So I don't mind using this. So we're going to make a chili pepper one, and that one's going to cover, I haven't decided if I want it for the pasta maker or for my mill. So we'll see which one I like for this one. I do have other patterns though for the other ones. So, and we're also get ready to do some sewing for making bowl covers, cloth bowl covers too, because I enjoy those, especially during bread making, and for when you have a get together and you don't really have a lid. Saran wrap doesn't always cut it, and these are really pretty, so we'll be making some of them too. Let's get started and get this cut out. Okay, y'all, so the pattern is for 1 yard of your front side and 1 yard for an interfacing if you want one as well, which means you got a cover on the outside, cover on the inside, so you can use a patterned and then a single color on the inside. However, I'm saving money on cost. I'm just using this for a cover. I don't need it super fancy. This is 100% cotton, washable, so what I'm just going to do is keep it a single layer to cover my machines. And so all I need is 1 yard. If you want to be able to have it both sides, then you would need 2 yards. Now, to make this tricky and make this work, your outside edge of this pattern here, this is where it gets sewn around this edge. This piece here is 16.5 inches wide by 42 inches long. So we're going to have to accommodate this 1 yard piece to make that. Now I have made sure that I had folded my edges because I need a folded. You're going to have to do this 2 times for this. So I need to cut out 2 patterns here, and then make sure that this one piece here is at least 16.5 inches wide by 42. So I have to set this pattern up very carefully where I can use this and then cut my straight line at the same time. So I had pre-measured everything, and I have my 16.5, just a little over, and I have my 42, which is a little over on that. So I have plenty of material to work with and make my entire pattern out of. So now I'm going to go ahead and set this up for my cuts. I'm going to take my pattern here, put it toward my edge of my fold line, clip it in place, and then I'm going to cut one out, and then I'm going to come back and cut the other one out. So I'm just going to follow this outside edge and cut this pattern, set it aside, and then go ahead and do the other one. It doesn't matter which side you do this, so we're going to be right back after we get all our pieces cut. Alright y'all, so here's my scraps out of 1 yard. Now this I'm saving because this can make a small bowl piece. I can actually probably get 2 out of these. If anything else, sourdough covers, I can make them with the elastic for that. Either way it goes, this is something that I can reuse. This I can use to make straps, whether I'm making them for handbags or whatever. There's always a use, so I am going to hang on to these pieces and not get rid of these because these are reusable. And I have my pieces ready to put together. So here is our 14 by 16 and a half, or 42 by 16 and a half, sorry y'all. And then here is our 2 pieces that we have for our outside. Look at how beautiful. Let me take it over here and show you. Once you open this up, that beautiful rounded edge, y'all, right here. Yep, this is what we got. Now, how does this work? We're going to take our piece here, and the reason we're going to start from the wrong sides together, basically. I'm going to take them end to end over here. Wait, nope, I got this wrong, y'all. Hang on a minute. I'll figure this out. Let's see. Hang on a second. Okay, y'all, so this is where it's going to get tricky. We're going to take the 2 right sides inside and have these 2 outsides. This is where we're going to sew. We're going to actually form this around the circular piece. So you're going to go end to end right now, and I'm going to put the 2 ends together. You're going to have to put pleats in towards the top. I tested this, so I'm going to put my clips or pins, however you want to do it, y'all, on each end of my material, end to end. And then I'm just going to go along the edge line of this rounded side and put them all together to where it comes in here, and you're going to be putting some pleats in it. So I'm going to show you up to a certain point here when you start getting to that top. So I'm going to go ahead and put these, follow this edge line, making sure that it's together like so, up until it starts reaching that curve. Oops, wrong one. Right here. And then come over here. Now, I'm going to start coming up to my curve line right about there. So I'm going to stop here and come in on the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to stretch my material. That will meet edge to edge, just like so. All the way up again till it hits that curve line right there. So we got both our straight edges, and now we got our curve line. Now this is where we're going to have to find my centerpiece, which is right here. Like so, and now take my pieces and make these fit. So I'll have to put a crease or a edge line in here to make this work. Like this. Come over here. Now see, this is where the pleat's gonna come in. Now I'm probably gonna put this pleat at the top, the very top where this is gonna go. So I'm putting these together until I run it to that top section where I'm gonna pleat it right up there. There. Alright, here's my very top, and y'all can see that little gap right there. This is a point where we're going to pleat it very nicely, edge to edge. Bring it over to this edge and then match it to my material. Y'all, this does not want to work. There you go. Clip that together. Come over here and do the same thing. Now if I have to put in another small pleat, I will do so. I don't think I really need to, but I may. Yeah, just a small one right here. Yep, just like that. So we're going to do this on both sides to where it's formed just like this on our, let's see, you can see it like that now. So there's our cover. So we're going to put this on the other side the same way, and then we're going to come back and sew this. Alright y'all, here's both sides put together. Now we're going to go ahead and sew this, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's finished. Okay y'all, so we sewed our outside edges, as you can see. We're going to turn this inside out, or right side out now. And you can take at this point an iron and do the creases and all that really good, and if you wanted to. I'll probably do that later, but right now we're just pulling out our edges out here, just like so. And we got the other side as well. As you can see, we got them on both sides. Now we do need to do our hem at the bottom, so we're going to come in about a 1/2 inch and hem this in at this edge. Once we do the hemming, we can actually do this 1/2 and 1/2, and then just make a double edge so it does not fray and come apart. So that's probably what I'll do. It'll be a 1 inch inseam going 1/2 at a time. So I'll come back after I get this edging done, and once we get that, I'll show you what it looks like once we're finished. Okay y'all, so let me show you what this looks like. Now remember, this is one-sided, so it's not two. It could be, but this is how this works. So now I got to get it off my hook up over here. There. Alright y'all, so it is a little big, but you know what y'all, it covers it. And I'm going to check this with my pasta maker as well. This is what it looks from that side. Turn it. You can go this side. And it's completely covered, so it saves my equipment from dust. That is one of them. Now let me show you the pasta maker. Okay y'all, so will this one work for the pasta maker? Absolutely. I was tickled to find out. Yes, yes it will. Now it is slightly big. I don't care. It covers everything, and that's all that matters. So I can put this over here on my shelf, let it sit there. It's beautifully covered, y'all, and it looks good too. Now this one here, it will fit the Nutri-Mill mill for the grains. However, I'm going to look into the 6-quart or more Instapot cover because it is circular, and see if I can find one that'll fit just a little bit better in a circular motion. So I'll be working on that next. But in the meantime, would this work? Yes, absolutely. It will cover it just as well. You just got a little extra more material. You can just tuck it around there and you can cover it too. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to look for one that'll fit around one in this place. I am actually going to put this one on here, and this is where we're going to leave it. I need to find out. There it is, situated around. And that's it. Now my pasta machine is covered. Yes, I had a crocheted one, so my KitchenAid, which is very old, it was made from cotton, and that one took forever. This didn't take but maybe 25 minutes at the most. So yeah, I think I like this better than the crocheted. Alright, y'all, so you can see it is covered. What did this cost me? Well, that was 1 yard of material from Walmart for $5.80 or 90 something cents. That's it. Plus my time, 25 minutes, some thread, and we're good to go. So with the thread and everything, and the price of thread nowadays, really less than 10 bucks, I have a really nice cover. Hang on, let me rearrange. Now, the options you can do with this is, again, you can put in another liner on the inside so you can have your material, basically you can reversible sides, or you can actually quilt this if you want to. So you can have reversible sides with a quilt matting. However you want to do this, just make sure that the pieces that you cut are on both sides like this, and then that center where it comes over your rounded piece, like, well, yeah, it's hard to see it like this, y'all, but you see it as it was on the machine. So it goes up and around like this. So however you do this, I just decided to do a single piece. It's inexpensive, it covers just the same, and it does the job. So like I said, I didn't even spend, I'd say $8 is what I've got in this, if that. So just to let y'all know, there's you a cover, super simple, inexpensive, and if you go to order these, they're going to be a whole lot higher, so you'd probably be better off doing your own. And if you can get people who actually have material, you got scraps, maybe you can do this. If you got a yard's worth, you can do this really for nothing then for what you got at home. Then the other half is maybe you find a sale. So a sewing machine is really good and handy to have, but again, you could do this by hand if you wanted to. You can even make it more pleated if you wanted to, if you did it by hand. So either way it goes, y'all, you can still cover your own investments, is what I call it. And from the looks of it, if I can find the cover from the Nutrimil, or not Nutrimil, but from the Instapot, if that works for this classic Nutrimil green, it would probably work for my mixer as well, because they're both circular and they're both basically the same size as what an Instapot would be. So I'll be looking for that one for y'all next, because there's not a whole lot of information on how do we cover and protect our investments. Y'all, these are definitely investments, and I want to protect mine as much as possible. So, and later on I may make these quilted as things improve. So that would conclude this video, y'all, and I hope you enjoyed this segment. I hope it clicks some ideas for you. And I like my chili peppers. Now I got some chickens I'm gonna put in here, so let's see what these look like. So until next time, y'all, much love. Mwah, from Parton's Mediterranean Homestead.